Hello friends, welcome to Oracle 26 AI new feature video series. In this video, we are going to learn about what is aggregation filter through two examples. One is usage of aggregation filter as part of aggregate function, and second example, the usage of the aggregation filter as part of analytical function. Let's start with the understanding of what is aggregation filter. So here is the snippet from Oracle documentation. As you can see here, aggregation filter allows developers to restrict the rows considered in the aggregate function. See, generally what happens is when whatever the data that is filtered as part of the from class in the rest of the where conditions and having class, all those data will be passed as an input to the aggregate functions like sum, count, min, max, average, right? So the aggregation filter will take those rows as the input and then it will do the aggregation and return the output. However, using this aggregation filter, right, we have an additional option to say what additional data to be filtered before passing those information into the function. So that's what we are going to see. So here is a simple syntax. So till here it is the same, like we are going to use the aggregation filter followed by the input parameter. Followed by that we have an optional filter class where we are going to say the additional condition. Okay, so let's understand with an example. Let's start with the demo. Let's start with the first demo of using the aggregate filter as part of aggregate function, right? So here is a simple employee table. So here is the another query. So you can see here, I'm trying to filter or I'm trying to calculate the total salary per department. So department wise total salary. So the query is very simple. So department wise sum of salary we are computing. Suppose if we want to display these information in a 3 different column, instead of 3 different row, I want to display these 3 information into 3 different columns, like one column for displaying the total salary of department 10, second column for displaying the total salary of department 20, similarly third column for displaying the total salary of department 30. Let us see how to implement this. By that way, we'll understand the usage of the aggregation filter. Okay. So now I'm just going to show you 3 query, a very simple query. The first query is we are calculating the total salary of department 10 alone. In the next query, I am calculating the total salary of department 20. In the next query, I am calculating the total salary of department 30. Right? So now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to combine all these 3 queries in a single query as an inline query so that I can implement the total salary in 3 different columns. So this is one implementation. Let me show you one more implementation. So instead of writing 3 different inline queries, now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to simply use the case statement within the sum function. So by that way, we can even restrict what rows to be considered for this aggregation function. So if you can see here in the first aggregation function, I'm considering the salary if the department is equal to 10, so that we'll be able to compute the total salary of department 10. Same thing goes to the department 20 and department 30. So this is another way of implementing. Let me show you one more way, then we'll go to the aggregation filter usage. So here is the next way of implementing the same thing. Of course, the same query, the same query whatever I've showed you in the first query. First, I am computing the department wise total salary in a row wise. Then using the pivot class, I am converting the rows into a column. So this is another usage, right? Now, there is another way to implement the same thing using the aggregate filter. That's what we are just going to see. So now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to simply first compute the total salary. Very simple and straightforward. Now, as part of this aggregate function, we have the option to use the filter class. In fact, this filter class is part of a standard SQL and it is being supported by most of the other databases. However, Oracle start supporting and Oracle start implementing this feature starting from Oracle 26 AI onwards. Okay. Now, as part of this filter class, we can specify what records to be filtered before passing the information to the aggregation function. So I can say where department number equal to 10. That means in this case, whatever the record that has a department 10 only will be passed as an input to the aggregate function. Let me execute this. So now this will compute the total salary for department 10. Let me give the alias. Right, so this is the department 10 salary. Similarly, we can compute the total salary for department 20 as well as department 30. Let me change the filter condition here. 20 here also, let me change the 20. Similarly, for third row, I'm changing the department equal to 30. Let me change the alias as well. Let me execute the query. Now, as you can see here, this query will filter the records before passing the information into the aggregate function. So this is what the filter class. So this is what the aggregation filter I was talking about, and in fact this feature was introduced from 26 AI onwards. Okay, so here we have seen the usage of aggregation filter as part of a simple aggregation function. In fact, this can be used as part of the analytical function also. Let us understand with one more example for that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to create one more table called t underscore account underscore transaction. Basically a simple transaction with debit and credit entries, and then we are just going to find the running total. Let me first drop this table because I already created. So I'm just creating the table called T account transaction with column like transaction number, date, amount, transaction type. Basically we'll say whether it's a debit or credit. If it is a debit, it is a positive number. If it is a credit, it's a negative number. Sorry, if it's a credit, if it's a positive number, and if it's a debit, it is a negative number, and followed by a description. Right, the table is created. I'm just populating few sample records into this table, and let me commit the information. Let me query the information from the table. Right, let me first show you the data. As you can see here, there are some credit records and debit record. Now what we are going to do, I'm just going to find the running total of debit balance separately and credit balance separately. So for that, what I'm just going to do, I'm just going to use the sum analytical function. First, let me select whatever the information I need or whatever the columns I need. So I've just selected only the transaction number, transaction date, amount and type. Now what I'm going to do, first let me compute the aggregation or running balance or cumulative balance of the amount over order by transaction number. Right, so this basically will give us the running balance or cumulative balance of the amount. For example, if you can see here, start with 5,000 minus 1,200, it is 3,799.5, and then plus 3,000, it will just return 6,799.5, and it will just goes on like this. Now this is like let's say cumulative balance. Suppose if you want the cumulative balance only for debit entries and a credit entry separately, what we can do, so here also we can use our aggregation filter. So here what I'm going to do, I'm just going to say filter where transaction type equal to, let's say, credit. That means I want to compute only the credit balance. Let's say cumulative balance for credit. Okay, now let me execute this query. As you can see here, this will basically compute the cumulative balance only for credit columns. For example, you can see here it is 5,000. 5,000 plus 3,000 is 8,000. 8,000 plus 1,500, 9,500. 9,500 plus 2,000, 11,500. Like that it will goes on. Let's calculate the cumulative balance for debit as well. So let me say for debit, let me say the alias as debit. Now you can see there are two separate columns, one for running balance of credit entries, another column for running balance of debit entries. Suppose if there is a need to say that for credit I want to display the credit balance, but if it is a debit I don't want to display the credit balance here. Same thing goes for debit. So in that case what we can do, we can just put a case statement just to say whether we want to display or not. Let me show you that. I'm saying that, so if it is a credit case when transaction type is equal to credit, then you compute and display the credit balance. Let me say end. Okay, same way I'm just saying for the debit balance as well, equal to debit, and I will put end here for debit balance. Now let me execute. Now you can see here we have a cumulative sum where we don't have any aggregation filter. However, for cumulative balance of credit entries, I'm just using the aggregation filter saying that where transaction type equal to credit. Similarly, for cumulative sum of debit entries, I'm using the aggregation filter saying that transaction type equal to debit. So here we are just learning that the usage of aggregation filter as part of analytical function as well. So here is the query for your quick reference. The first example is for the usage of aggregation filter as part of aggregate function like this. And the second query is basically to help us understand that the aggregation filter can be used as part of analytical queries as well. If you have learned something new, please like this video. If you want any questions to be answered, please post it in the comment section or you can drop to this mail ID. And thanks a lot for watching this video.